welcome to Wine Library TV. I am your host, Gary Chuck, and this is The Thunder Show, aka WLTV, America's obsession on the internet. It's better than the 19th best show on the internet, right? Or on wine. I'm back. I went to Hungary. But more importantly, P.S. real quick, Budapest is a ridiculously phenomenal city. It's just outrageous. It really reminds me much more of Paris than anything I've ever seen in Eastern Europe. And so it's just really a great city. If you ever get a chance, do not say no. But more importantly, even with the time that I spent in Tokai, which was phenomenal, and I'm really excited about where Tokai's direction is going in the world, and really let's remember going back, a couple hundred years, how important Tokai was when it was priced higher than the first groats from Bordeaux. But I did sneak in to a art exhibit in the Ukraine, which is part of the former Soviet Union. It was the first time that I was back to the general area where I was born, and it was quite an interesting experience. And let me tell you very quickly, and I wanted to start the show with this today, we are very lucky to be in this country, and I know we have our issues, we all know, but let me tell you something. Do what I did when I landed in JFK, and I didn't care about the bacteria. Kiss the land in this country. Go outside right now and kiss your front porch, or your stoop, or the ground, because you need to go to the Ukraine one time to realize how wonderful, how obnoxiously wonderful we have it here. So I got that off my chest, and now I'm going to go right into the obnoxiously huge news. And this news is substantial. And once again, it's because of you, with a little bit of me, that this is actually happening. So before I tell you what it is, I want to give you a phenomenal thank you. I am just so lucky to be a part of this movement, and to spread this movement, we Vaniacs have a big opportunity, and it's going to happen this Wednesday night, technically Thursday. This upcoming Wednesday, Thursday at 12:30 a.m., I will be on the Conan O'Brien show, the Late Late Show, or whatever they call it. So I really hope you get a chance to watch it. It's going to be big exposure for WLTV and big exposure for our movement. And I am really looking forward to Thursday, getting the emails from all of you and telling me I look nervous and I wasn't as good on Wine Library TV and I'm a sellout, and, Conan's so much taller than you, and, could have been better, and why didn't you bring this wine? All that good stuff. So I'm really looking forward to it. Big news for Wine Library TV, a little old video blog in New Jersey making it on the National Grandstand of America. And so I am super excited. And Conan's a great demo for us, probably out of all the late night people. We couldn't have asked for a better guy, plus I'm a huge fan. He's a Simpsons writer. So things are real good on that front. I appreciate America. I appreciate Conan O'Brien. And you know what else I appreciate? The customer appreciation sale. If you don't know what it is, link it up, Mott, down there. And let's give them a Conan link. I got a little link you should see. It's kind of cool. You got to just see it. Anyway, too many people have been emailing me about this. I figured I would address it right here, right now. The customer appreciation sale starts tomorrow. No, I can't tell you which wines to buy ahead of time, but it's our biggest sale of the year. It's a lot of fun. I hope a lot of people enjoy it. It's always a hectic time. Please don't email me tomorrow at all, any questions, because I will be picking orders, because that's how silly it gets. And so hopefully we'll get a show in tomorrow, because it's going to be hectic. And now let's get into the show, because, geez, I can't imagine first-time viewers of this show is like, who is this baffling buffoon? It's just too much. No, this is not Sir Gary Vaynerchuk. This is Gary Vaynerchuk, and what we are doing is Petite Sirah today, because you've asked for it. Above anything else that I've been emailed about, Petite Sirah continues to be at the forefront of the tongue of the Vaniac nation, and so we're going to attack it in a very serious way right now. First wine, Trentadue. Established in 1969, may I remind you, on January 12th, 1969, the New York Jets won the Super Bowl and in essence saved football in America. 2004 Syrah, 14.5% alcohol content. This is from the North Coast, mainly Mendocino counties grapes. Petite Sirah, not to be confused with Syrah/Shiraz. That's the same grape. Petite Sirah is a different grape. It's a clonal cousin. It's a clone. Kind of a lot of debate on whether it is or isn't, but of the grape de Rief, which is really it is a clonal cousin. It's not the same exact grape, but a lot of people think it is. And what's Petite Sirah really coming from the French part of the Rhone region in France in the 1800s. Durif is pretty popular in Australia and other places of the world. But what's really ironic about Petite Sirah is it's anything but petite. These are massive, explosive, and monstrous wines, and should be really looked at with some caution, because they will bring the thunder. And if you're not paying attention, you may end up like Nikolai Volkov does after a bunch of shots of vodka. I mean, these are big, massive wines that need big fruit and, big food and other, cheeses and other things around it, because they can get real explosive. Now, right off the bat, and, that was for the Vaniacs that aren't with us. Last time I said that, somebody said, well, I'll tell you why the Vaniacs aren't with you, and then it got into a whole thing. But, GaryIsSorry.com. Anyway, this is a big wine, has great color. Beautiful nose, a lot of cherry and licorice coming through on the nose, and a very powerful structured nose. I'm getting a little bit of vanilla coming through as well, but very dark and complex on the nose. Very New World in its approach on the nose, very fruity. This is a 88 Parker scored wine, $14 US. Let's give it a little bit of a taste, or a whirl, as I like to say. The winemaker's last name is Chokalakov. Ukraine, Chokalakov, Nikolai Volkov. It's very throwback to my roots kind of show. I should have done Georgian wine today. This is a massive wine. Very over the top, lots of fruit, tremendous complexity, very New World. Reminds me a lot of what you can get from Australia. It's a roller coaster ride. It's got very bright raspberry and black currant flavors coming through. There is some cherry coming through. It's very syrupy, very jammy. A little too sugary for me. A little too fruity. It's a solid wine. It's definitely over the top. A lot of people like huge, massive style Petite Sirahs are gonna like this wine. I'm kind of in the boat as Parker. I'm gonna go 87 points from a main man Lavernius Coles on this one. And I'm gonna say it's pretty much a buy, $14, not bad. Definitely something that I think people should seek out if they're into very over the top, really jammy too. Just an enormous, almost like heated up jam. If you've ever gone old school, the old country again, bringing it up again, and have had heated jam, that's really what this tastes like, more really than anything else. Let's move on. This is the Rosenblum 2005 Appellation Series Heritage Clones Petite Sirah. Rosenblum, a very famous, very well-respected winery. This wine is also $14. No mainstream press that I know of. While we're on this talking about stuff, I just want to give a big shout out to a bunch of people. I came home and had a bunch of new Facebook friends. I know Facebook's such a nice topic for WLTV, but I noticed a lot of people starting to put up pictures with their Vaniac wristbands, the new one and the old one, as their actual Facebook account picture. So I want to give big ups to everybody who's done that. I really appreciate it. And please keep sending in if you've badged me up. I know that we missed a couple. A couple people emailed me and said I'm a jerk off. So if your website badged up and you weren't part of the collage last week, please send me an email. I'll re-forward it to the monster. It was probably my fault because Chris, he doesn't make mistakes. I only do. Let's move on. Much more interesting nose than the first wine. I like this Rosenblum nose quite a bit. Oh, cool. I should mention this. Let's go into marketing here. 21st century action. Look at this. You can pull this tab, and I guess the theory is you can now put, and look at this. For more information, visit us at rosenblumcellars.com, and I guess you can put this in your wallet to remember the wine that you had. Kudos to Rosenblum. I'm on a new kick. If you really want to remember what you like, since it is the 21st century, I mean, this is cute and all, but what I'm recommending to a lot of people, because a lot of people email me, how do I remember what I like? Text yourself. Say that, just so easy, just text yourself. Great nose, creamy on the nose, like a creme brulee with like cherries on top. Really, that's what it's coming through. It's a beautiful nose, very exotic. Little hint of mocha coffee going on as well in here, and almost like a Irish cream element as well. This is a very exotic, bouncing all over the place, but loaded nose. Let's give it a whirl. very distinct flavor. This is more towards the mocha coffee creamy aspect. I almost think it's like, I almost feel like you go into 7-Eleven or a Quickie Mart or a Kiwi or what is it, a Kawa or what? Wawa, or all those other places where you get coffee, and you pour yourself a creme brulee coffee, flavored coffee, and you pour half of it, and then you load up the second half with almost like the Irish cream, like it's almost like not even coffee, it's like a coffee cocktail, C squared. It's just, you know, there's so much cream and sugar involved, the coffee is really lost. It's kind of how this wine tastes like. It's very coffee oriented, but its creaminess and the fruit is so seductive and sugarified that you're almost like losing the coffee in all the condiments in a way. So it's quite interesting. It's actually a very lovely wine. I like it better than the Trentadue in a similar conceptual style of massive fruit, over the top, carnival of love, let's say, kind of action. There's a really nice balance on this wine on the finish though. That gets very firm and very oriented, very focused, and little hints of greenness. Just enough dill on the finish of this wine to get me interested, since I am, vegetables, greater than fruit kind of guy. So I'm going to score this wine 89 plus. I'm going to say this is a buy. This is a wine I think a lot of people should seek out if you're into New World wines. It's definitely, Petite Sirah is a New World category. It's a good wine. I like it. I like it a lot, actually. It's a nice wine for the money. It's a little flawed because, once again, it is that syrupy, little hints of fakiness going on, so it doesn't get into the 90-point plateau, but it's a nice wine for what it is. Let's move on. Elyse, Petite Sirah 2005 from Napa Valley. This wine is $28 US, and I'm a huge fan of this winery. Let me preface by saying that these people are phenomenal, and it may swing my mental concept of this wine because they're some of the nicest people in the valley. Big fan. Good peeps. $28 US. Ironic. I was away when Curtis Martin officially retired, so number 28. Big ups for C. Martin. You know what? I'll grab the little bobblehead over there. It's a little disrespect for me to go back on the air and not put Curtis on. This is like my life right here. It's like, here, I was born here, and this has basically been it since, and then this stuff. Here it is. This is Gary Vaynerchuk's life. Very simple. Simple guy. I better add this, too. I'm married to Lizzie, and, I don't want to actually just throw that. Get in trouble. Anyway, the Elyse, 2005. Very burnt wood action on the nose. I get a little oakiness. I get a little maple kind of, very woody on the nose. Little vanilla action, little dark cherry, but focused, but oaky. Let's give it a whirl. I've been saving this debate for a long time, and I think right this minute is the right time. There's an issue with New World wines that make them so debatable. New World wines, like these Petite Sirahs from California, are so over the top and so fruit extracted and so massive and so rich and complex, but fruity and big on your palate that sometimes the division between what tastes at $14 and what tastes at $28 and what tastes at $72 gets very clouded. And there's a lot more closeness to the same style that there is in New World wines, more so than there is in Old World wines, where the fruit is not so over the top and the flavors are much more obvious yet subtle, meaning that there's a lot of different flavors going on in Old World wines, the poopy and the tobacco and the dirt and the rocks and the worm heads and the snails and the escargot and all that. However, the subtleness of it, because the body is not so massive, and the tannins and everything else that clouds it, just the gobs of all this other stuff that you gotta get through to see what the essence of the wine is far less than Old World wines. And this is a great example why a lot of people, I think, get tired of New World wines. Not that I do, because I balance myself. Balance is the key. Trust your palate. Who cares if you like New World wines? I'm saying this for a reason. These wines have an ability to taste very similar, thus not allowing the more expensive and interesting wines really to have their place, which is a good thing, because then you really, if you love it, you're going to be able to get your game on in a much lower price point. So if you're a big New World fan, which I am, as much as anybody else, you should really dabble in the $15 range from Australia, from California, the Petite Sirahs, in Spain, from Toro especially, and all these other areas, and really compare them very seriously and carefully to the wines that you're spending $40, $50, and $70 on. I think you may find opportunity in that lower price point. And heck, opportunity in lower price points, that's just the American way. And now you know. And knowing is half the battle. Gee, that was awesome. Anyway, it's okay. I mean, this is a nice wine. Much better people behind this project than the wine that we're drinking right now. I'm going to score this wine 88 points based on the fact that it's just, it tastes like Fun Dip. It's just, it's fun and it's dippy. And it's got the artificial fruit flavors that we enjoy. It's chewy and it's big and it's massive. But, so are the other two wines. And the purity of the fruit is similar to the other two wines. It becomes just a flavor thing, and I just don't see paying double since it worked out nicely, 14.28 math skills. I'm just going to give this one a pass. Very interesting category. Finally, Earthquake. Petite Sirah from Lodi, 2004, 15.5 alcohol content, $23 US. And I like their statement on the back label. Wow. Is that Whip 'em Out Wednesday? Do you remember that whole thing? Yeah. That was pretty big. Let's give this a little bit of a rinsey rinse. How many people have you emailed or called yet about Conan? Pretty cool, huh? Thank you guys so much. It's so cool. I hope I don't blow it. Anyway, great color. Let's pour a little more for the homies. Just because it's fun. I like when it's wet. This one comes through with a little bit of a taffiness action, a caramel, almost like a. Actually, you know what this smells like? It smells like a Twix, and it smells like a Twix that you ate while you were playing with strawberry shortcake figures, because they smelled like the actual fruits, and this is actually you're playing very closely and intimately with your strawberry shortcake figure. Not that I've ever did that. While eating a Twix bar, and then you take both of them and you smell them at the same time. Not that I ever did that. And that's exactly what this wine smells like. Hence, not so much different than the other wines. Let's give it a little bit of a taste. These are big, ball-busting wines. This is huge, even bigger than the other three. It tastes like red licorice. Jam, melted down marzipan in a way. There's a little marzipan action in this, which I like. Has a little bit more characteristics, and a little more character than the other three wines. And it's more ballsy. It's just a bigger wine than the other three wines. However, it's also a little more sugary and gets a little faker for that reason. It does taste like high C punch that you spike during your prom in some levels. And that bothers me because the price point of that was much lower. I mean, Pop-Off vodka and high C, that's like $11.10 investment. This is $23, and you don't even get as much. You get a 1.75. This is 750 milliliters. So, with that being said, I mean, to me, this is a really eye-opening experience. Maybe it was because I've just been in Hungary and tasted a lot of old world wines, except the last night had some new world wines, or maybe anything else. It's not that I'm downplaying them, but this is a very interesting experiment. This is the kind of experiment that I would love for people to pony up $100 if they can and get people together and try these exact four wines and really see the shockingness of how these wines are really tasting extremely similar. Really, the definition between the four of these wines is just very close, really, except for the extremes of this is a little bit heavier and this was a little thinner and a little bit different, but they're really close, and that's what concerns me about high-end Petite Sirahs. I just feel like you can get what you want out of lower-priced Petite Sirahs out of California. I've seen this in the past. I've been sticking with this, and this may be the most obvious because I'm probably paying attention more because I got to do it right for you guys. That's how we do. Example. So all in all, I'm going to give the last wine a pass. I'm going to score the wine 88 points. It just all fell in that range, and that's that. Been thinking about giving up scoring wines, just giving tasting notes. Not the question of the day, but just curious what you guys think about that, how to put that out there. Oh man, that's going to be a lot of answers. I'm curious.
There's already a thread in the forum about it.
There is a thread in the forum. Mod, put it down there. Little thread action on the forum. And then finally, the question of the day, which is a very serious one. Let's get serious in honor of Curtis Martin. The Conan show on Wednesday or Thursday, depending on how you want to look at it. Day after tomorrow night. You going to watch it live? You going to step up and be a maniac? you're going to TiVo it. Or even best, you're not going to watch it at all. You're going to say, I'm not following that sellout. He's going on TV, or I don't even like you that much anymore. Because the reason we are on the Conan Show is because of you with a little bit of me. And it's because we're changing the wine world. Slowly, maybe quickly. Definitely, surely.